the NBA, but we cover the Lakers, and you have to cover what they've been doing. And listen, you can look at personnel, you can look at effort, all those things, schemes. The Lakers have also shown that they can do it on that end.
Yeah. It can happen. Let's not forget this team was second in the West just a couple short weeks ago. We talked about that a lot on the pregame show. And we also need to add, no Luka tonight, no Rui, and no Gabe Vincent. Are those guys first-team all-defense? No. But at least you have guys who are more familiar with the system, who aren't creating needless turnovers. You know, Rui's a big body. He can play a little defense. Gabe Vincent, I like what he can do off the bench defensively. But still, Geet, you're right. They need to recapture what they had really the first month and a half of the season when they were, you know, A, their offense looked good, and B, their defense was surprisingly good. Just in the last, 3-4 weeks, that has obviously gone the opposite direction.
It's really hard to find continuity when you just don't have your team available very often. I mean, they even talked about it in the broadcast tonight. You and I talked about it on the podcast this week. They've had their starting lineup 6 times this year. They've had their full 8 rotational guys only 3 times this year, but that's the way it goes. That's life in the NBA, and you can't throw that out as an excuse every single time. However, it is frustrating, I'm sure, for JJ and that staff, and you just hope that health is on the way. Dillon Brooks, guys, in just 24 minutes, 25 points, 10 of 15, 3 of 6 from 3. He had a huge night, James, and he just seemed to be able to get what he wanted tonight. He's improved offensively for sure, but he was ready to go.
Maybe one of the most improved players offensively, that I've seen this year. He wasn't shabby when his last couple of teams. He could score, but his perimeter game has really blossomed, especially from the 3, Geeter. And he can get you off the dribble, too, because he's strong up top. He really knows how to play the Kobe and the Michael Jordan bump game to get that little shot. So he's turned into like a little beast. And defensively, he's in your face all the time. So, I mean, you got to like that as a teammate.
It's funny to think about his year. I mean, he's scoring 22 a game. It's like back when he was in Oregon in college, he was a pretty good scorer. People forget about that. Then he goes to Memphis, Houston. He's like a part-time scorer, mostly a defensive antagonist and a wannabe bully. And now here is in Phoenix, they need the points. And tonight and throughout most of the season, he has recaptured some of that college offense that he had with the Ducks. And, he won the battle tonight. Obviously, he a couple weeks ago, not even a couple weeks ago, I would say he cost Phoenix that game against the Lakers. Hit a big 3, crowd's going crazy in Phoenix, and then all of a sudden he bumps into LeBron. That's a second tech. He's bounced. And then the crowd's like, wait, what's going on? LeBron missed a free throw on the tech. Yeah. But, maybe he's been thinking about that over the last several games that Phoenix has played. And today I thought he was more under control. A little weirdness at the end of the second quarter, kind of some strange fouls.
He's having fun out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And credit to him tonight. LeBron always wins the war against Dillon Brooks, but Dillon won a battle. He every once in a while he's going to get one, James.
What did you guys see from Austin Reeves tonight? In his return, obviously a little rusty for sure, but
at first a little
found
rusty.
His groove a little bit as well.
At first, you could tell he's a little bit out of sync.
More with like the handles, right? Just a couple of early
hadn't been in a real game situation. Handles okay, but forced the issue a little bit and missed some shots. He had some wide open shots, but he got his timing down a little bit, got his feet underneath him. Then he started to, get downhill, get in the paint, get some buckets, get back to the way Austin plays.
I guess the key, right, is him feeling good, right, Brez? Because he is a rhythm kind of guy.
Yep.
And when he's not in his routine and he's out for a little extended period of time, then he comes back, you got to work your way back in. 17 points, 6 of 11, got to the free throw line 5 times, but I expect him to just get better and better each game.
Yeah, talk about not being in his routine and his rhythm. He came off the bench tonight. He did play 22 minutes, so that's good for him. But he's been out for a little while, and JJ said, hey, without Luka and Rui, we're going to need some punch. So he obviously decided to bring Austin off the bench. Maybe, a little bit of a minutes restriction for him.
Ease him back in.
Ease him back in. First half, a little sloppy. 4 fouls, 3 turnovers. But he had no fouls or turnovers in that second half. So I thought he eased into it, kind of like what you just said. And it's good to have him back. Now, will Luka play on Christmas? Because when you get Luka back, James, and then Rui's hopefully not too far behind that, then you're starting to say, okay, we got our team back. Let's not slip the 6th. And Mike Trudell did say in the fourth quarter in a little report that, Luka, we'll see what happens with him. He's got that bruised, I'm not going to say contusion, he's got that bruised calf, and we'll see if he's good enough in 2 days.
Lakers at 19-9, coming off their first back-to-back losses. Time to hear from our coach, J.J. Redick, brought to you by your Toyota dealers.
JJ, you've had a lot of games recently where the second half kind of pick things up and were able to either get back in the game or ultimately get the lead. What did you see different tonight in how Phoenix played?
They scored on the first 13 possessions of the second half.
Did you see anything connecting those defensive possessions that wasn't to your liking?
They had about a 140 offensive rating. They had a 1.43 offensive rating when they touched the paint. So they touched the paint on every possession, basically. We couldn't keep them out of the paint.
You guys had that time where you had some practice time coming off the NBA Cup quarterfinal, and defense was a point of emphasis. How much was point of attack, perimeter defense, something that was diagnosed with the group? And when it's happening in real time, like, what are your kind of options as the coach?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly talk about containing the basketball at the point of attack, with our pickup points and, guarding your yard. Overall, the sort of execution, it's when your margin for error is not super high. You need to be able to, it's like very detailed to be able to execute. And when we do it, we can string together some good defensive possessions. We didn't do that at all tonight. And, we tried zone. They got a layup and an open three. I don't know why we were guarding Mark Williams at the three-point line when they got the three, and didn't get the ball iced in pick and roll. On the second possession of zone, they got middle, didn't go under. They get a layup. So it's like, again, you don't do the things, we're trying to do to sort of protect and keep the ball on the side, then you get exploited. And I think we've had some games where we did things well, but I think the theme with our team again is like these young teams that move, we just can't move. So it's like we're stuck in mud. Zone didn't work, and then we went to a 15 in the second half, 1 through 5 switching, that didn't work. So at that point, you're out of options.
You guys, I think it's 28 games now. It's the first time all season you lost consecutive games. What does that say about kind of the character of your group, that you made it more than a third of the season before this happened? Well,
the guys have been great about responding to challenges, whether that's been injuries, a loss, a poor performance. But, it's got a lot of games left. So we got to continue that trend, and we got to stick together. I told the guys, I really just want them, it's coming off these 2 games. It's